Okay, I said I was gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. So, over the last few months, I've stepped away from Railroader for the time being, waiting for the game to update. But now that the game is going to be updating, hopefully within the next month, I thought it would be a good idea to go over what I've missed in the mods. Now, I've only gone through the first 10 pages on Nexus to look for mods that I thought were interesting and that I hadn't seen before. And to start, we're obviously going to talk about Raider. Like, he has 50 mods now, so surely there's some interesting things that he's made throughout all of this. And as we can see, we've got a locomotive here. He's updated his generic rolling stock. Like, as all of this stuff is 3 pages of mods. Like, surely there's something good here. Let's see. We have a Cardinal, so from what I've understood, Raiders started doing these American locomotives now to get off of the British ones and have the best of both worlds. So I'm pretty sure he's still making UK stuff, as you can see. We got the RMS Buck 5 here, and the 8F here. But we also are getting American locomotives in his mods now. We've also got the Garrett, a Kingfisher, and there's definitely more to come. So, now, you may have just heard me if I go back to page 2. Or was it page 1? Might have been page 1. But, here we go. The generic rolling stock pack. So, to usually use this, you would have had to modify your data in your game files to be able to only use the UK rolling stock. But now there's actually a mod that can help you out with that, from what I can see, which is the restricted rolling stock. It reclassifies base game rolling stock with a do not interchange prefix, which prevents them from ordering these cars, which allows you to just use this mod. You would be able to use this mod, and it would just allow you to just use all the UK ones without having to modify your game data folder, which I think is a really cool mod, and we should have seen so much earlier, before January 25th, which is when this mod was initially released. Thank you, Nerdy Man. Okay, so the next mod here is actually a Waynesville extension. So we go from silver and we continue out towards the head end of the line. So here we can see a map here where we go through Beta, Addy, Wilts, Mount Pleasant, Balsam, Sudnook, Hazelwood, Waynesville, Lake Johnson, and Clyde. There's potentially some more, but this is like the best map that I can find. It's made by Estrin. So here we go. This mod adds Basel Mountain Stop to the game, extending 24 miles east of the Silver Inn interchange to a small town of Clyde. Along the line, passes through Beta, a small whistle stop along the river. Addy, a railroad town with a wide milestone for large yard and engine service facility. Wilts, a small lumbering mill town. Balsam, the highest railroad pass east of the Rockies. Hazelwood, an industrial town on the outskirts of Waynesville. Waynesville, the largest city on the branch, exceeding Bryson City by several times. Lake Junkla, a resort town in the mountains. Clyde, a large interchange yard in a serene valley. The grade is second only to red marble in terms of steepness and curvature, and has been recreated as close as feasible. So a lot of this stuff is quite a thing. So you would want to use this. His future plans are to finish the industries in some towns, add an interchange to Balsam, add milestones, adjusting, balancing, adding signals, switching to a barrel loader. UMM can't edit track. Anyone's figures out how to do it. Switch promise. I know what that's a jab to, and I don't like that. Finish all rivers and roads. There are a lot and extremely time consuming to make. You'll get to them. He's got a couple of known issues with map tiles and everything. He's also considering doing an Asheville extension. Tracks are already laid to Canton, but Champion Fiber is an insanely huge industry. 140 cars a day IRL, and it can't just be tracks in a field. I need help building it. Contact me if interested. If I can get enough help, I'll totally extend to Asheville. I just can't do it alone. So that'll look pretty interesting. So now, we go off this to Ivy Hills, which actually pulls off of our previous mod and takes it over to Ivy Hills. This mod was made by Scurvy. Charger? I'm not gonna try. And it literally just extends the branch line to Ivy Hills, which has 3 industries. But now we're gonna go to something that I think is really cool, and you can kind of see it because, it says it there, which is signals everywhere. This mod allows you to add signal blocks with fully operational signals, like you can see in the banner here. Fully operational signals and a CTC board. Granted, I don't know how the CTC board works. I haven't had too much of a look into it, but it's got the it's enough to where you could use it. Sort of know what everything does. And I think this is really cool. I think this is to show something. I don't really know. I don't really know what that's showing. But here we go. We'll go into this description. Signals Everywhere is a comprehensive signal and traffic control mod for Railroader. It extends the game's signal logic, allowing you to define custom signal sections, blocks, and complex interlocking behaviors. Some of the key features are custom signal placement, advanced block detection. It will actually pick up block detection. Interlocking management can create complex junctions and routing logic to manage traffic through busy areas. CTC panel, a fully functioning interactive CTC panel monitoring occupancy, throw switches, and clear signals from a centralized window. New signal types. We can do multi-head signals, signal double triple, configurable JSON, fully multiplayer controllable. So this is multiplayer compatible, which is a really good feature. Now, there's an interactive control scheme, remote control, custom layout, system modes, and sound feedback. Get sounds when trains enter interlockings or crossovers. So here's all the keybinds. N to access the panel, right-click and left-click to throw knobs, right-click on the schematic to create or edit markers, shift-click on the signal box to throw the knobs. So it needs rail loader, which makes sense. It's a type of track modding. But I think this mod is really cool, and this person has outdone themselves. Thank you, Jew200. So now, the next one is the Macon County Railroad. Now, this railroad, it goes from Alarka down to where the Alarka Y would be, but instead, it goes to Welch, Lardia, Maple Springs, Licklock Creek, Shadow Ford, Tellico Creek, Dean Island, Oak Grove, Old Cowie, Leatherman, Idaho Junction, Macon County Airport, and there's like a ton of screenshots of this, and I'm just going to scroll through this. So this mod is pretty cool. It redoes a lot of the line within the limitations of the game. And the other thing about this is this uses the signaling mod we just talked about. So this line is fully signaled as well, which I think is amazing and great for multiplayer, especially with how complex the line looks already, with the fact that you'll definitely be needing to be running multiple trains along this line. And look at that, there's even a double board triple here. So this mod was created by JR Modding, and it it has a fully CTC controlled line, 35 miles of drivable route, 8 new passenger stops, 27 new industries along the route, branch lines such as Licklong Creek, Tellico Creek, Cowie Creek, or the section to Olive Hill. Alarka Yard with operational interchange. Interchange in North Franklin, relatively large old station in Old Cowie with depot and car repair facilities. Included progression for independent track and signalage sections, external CTC board, interchangeable reloader, multicolored train destination displays, also compatible with Map Enhancer, branch line listings for the timetables, insertable time differences between the station in the timetable. So this mod definitely took some time to make. Like, I think that this is a great mod. It definitely took some time, and I love the people for doing it. It has 70 posts, so this mod has been very interactive. And this mod is released 3rd of March, and I'm currently recording this the 10th of March, and we've already gotten this far. I think this is a really cool mod. I love it. Like, there's so much here. So, to the next mod. Hardcore mode. So what this does is, if you ever thought that your starts in Railroader were a little bit like cheap and like easy to do, this mod changes that. It makes it to where you can disable AE, enable rules, have a profile for whatever reason, start with no money, have a multiplier for your milestone costs, and I guess cards needed. As well as allows you to have a hardcore version of the starting mode. So I think this mod has cracked the starting mode feature quite a bit, which could be nice. This mod adds a new start option and new game map, and introduces configurable hardcore camera restrictions. So all this does... This has hardcore camera rules, force first person, optionally allow dispatcher camera, and optionally allow strategy camera restricted rules below. Waypoint exceptions, optionally allow strategic camera while auto engineer waypoint is picker is active. Like, this is a ridiculously fully customizable mod. So if you really wanted to be an ass to your friends, you could force them to play the game in first person. First person is enforced. Strategic camera is blocked except when managing auto-engineer waypoints. After leaving the waypoint picker, the camera returns to first person. They can be changed in the mod settings. It's a UMM mod. Yeah, this is all this stuff. I think it's interesting if you wanted to have an interesting playthrough. It's made by Gamaru, so thanks Gamaru for the mod. The next mod is more of a quality of life. It's a grade indicator tool where it will tell you your grades for the current car you're selecting, I guess, and the last car in your consist. This mod was made by Nerdy Man, and that's really all it does. It just shows what the grade is in real time to your consist. Like, that's really all it does. I don't really know what else to say. But the next one, we're going to start going into industries now. So we've got the Alarka Charcoal Railroad Company. So if you thought Alarka didn't have enough traffic, this mod might bridge that gap and give you a new industry to run that might not be like that heavily. Because looking at the track layout, it does not seem like there's that many more cars. So it looks manageable for Alarka's line. Because looking here, it looks like it's only about 10 cars, and this is probably the T5. Like, look at that. And it's just off of Alarka. Here's Alarka. This is where it is. It's inside. It's just outside the 25 limit. This mod was made by Striker's Revenge. And it adds a small little mod here. They don't really say much on what it does, but I think it's a cool mod. So now, the next one, it's got an interesting name. It's called Steve-O's Slay Queen Mika. And what it does is it adds track here. At least it looks like it adds track here. Might modify Slay Mika to maybe make it a bit more profitable. But it also adds a building, which is nice, and I welcome buildings, honestly. There is a lot of gibbering in here. East and West access. Because Mika deserves options, this creature now ties into the main from both directions. Why? Because I believe in equal opportunity chaos. How you can shove cuts in and out through and pass and accidentally back into Mika without having to beg the dispatcher for a 3-point turn. I think they like that. That's funny. A new siding long enough to hold your emotional baggage and a 14-car local. And probably something else you shouldn't put in there. Meat parcel, sure. Accidental meats because you've got what you lined? Absolutely. This person just made it. You made it decorative scenery to Operation Divisional Call. Like, Steve-O. I love how his account name is Dave and Buster's. It's kind of funny to me. Jesus Christ, the version number 1.1.1.1.1.1.1.1.1.1.1.1.69. God damn, that's a lot of ones. So now, we also have this mod, which was created by Gamma again, realistic finds and bonuses. So we'll just go straight to the key features here. So you get fined for derailment. You fines when a car transitions into derailed. Stop signal fine. It fines you if you pass a CTC signal at stop based on the currently selected locomotive crossing track markers. Speeding fine. Configurable fines when over the limit with grace. Harsh coupling / collisions fine. Fines impact from coupling cars and collisions involving the selected consist. Job performance, delivery bonus penalty based on whether incidents occurred during the haul. Strict mode, optional mode that can disable grace behaviors and multiplies fines. Daily report appendix adds realistic fines and bonuses section with incident counts and net impact. Safety bonus, if the day had no fines, awarding a configurable daily bonus. All money changes are host only to keep multiplayer stable and consistent. And it uses a per save profile, so each of your saves will be fully configurable. So now we're going to jump to last year at Christmas, and as you can see by the title, it's Glacier Gulch. Someone thought it was a good idea to add Glacier Gulch back in the font to lake. And if the screenshot would load, you can see here, they nailed it pretty well. I think he uploaded these screenshots backwards, because I think it's supposed to go from that one to this one. But this was made by Baxterville. And this literally does. It's rated for 30 miles. In the 180s, like 10 miles an hour. So it's not exactly designed for speed. It's to recreate the ice scene, so you very much have to speed up the footage. His reason for making it is yes. Can't argue with that. So as we end this off, we come to the last one, which I've already talked about, which is server on wait on empty. And this mod is good. I love it. It's great. It's made by Jaffa, uploaded by Mr. Super Jaffa, so it's the same person. What this mod does is whenever there is only the host in a multiplayer session, it will pause the server until it detects that another person is joined. This is very useful for dedicated servers because we don't have a way of making dedicated servers yet. We usually use a host account for the dedicated server. So usually the person who wants to host it will buy 2 accounts, and one account will be there just to host the server, and they'll usually play on another account. And this mod will help multiplayer servers like that, where when no one's on the server, it will just pause the server so that so that the save doesn't get ruined because people just got burnt out from playing the game and have like a 2-week break before coming back. Which I can say has happened to me and a couple of people that I do play with on a semi-regular basis quite a bit. So this mod is coming quite clutch. So I think this is a great mod, and it definitely makes the list almost every single time because of how good it is. And if you were here to make if you want to make a dedicated server, use this mod. It will be a lifesaver. When no one is connected, time will not progress. So it doesn't force people to play every single day just to keep up with the flow. That, and another thing is, you won't always be hauling at day or always hauling at night. It depends on what the server is. One thing to note is that if you end up doing all your tasks before the interchange service happens, like say you finish all your tasks at like 8 p.m., you will need someone who is able to skip time, or the person who owns the host account to sleep for you to be able to progress, obviously. Just don't time skip while there's a passenger train running, because that never ends well anymore. But with that, I think that's the end of this. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's been 20 minutes of me talking about railroader mods. This is going to be an interesting video. But without further ado, bye-bye.